So here we are in 2004, actually, just before Easter, my first trip aboard since my stroke. And it was really difficult because I thought this would be a really difficult trip, but it was no such thing. I was looked after all the way, and just couldn't really go wrong. There was a lot of sitting and waiting, which did not help because I always like to move about, but we really were treated well. And soon we were at our hotel, and I quickly assumed the role, chilling out, beautiful weather, got in the water, no idea what to expect, but it was quite hilarious because one side of me could swim beautifully, the other side just went straight to the bottom. And that's a perfect example of Roland versus Ronald. Roland was always a good swimmer. Ronald could not swim to save his life. But I always loved swimming. So as we'll find out later on, I was very joyful, even though I was on the verge of drowning. So it actually took me a week to learn how to swim at a torturous and slow pace.
The only thing we put inside there is chlorium, of course, because for the bacteria and for the health of the people that go inside, and acido or acid for the pH.
pH,
So
which is
6.9 to 7.2,
okay.
7.4.
Yeah.
And it's all natural. From 2,000 years, the Roman was coming here to make some thermal water.
They knew some.
They was very smart, they knew. And there is a saying, an old saying, that the Venice people here, the local people, they was afraid when Romans come here from the Romans because they come as a garrison with the soldiers, and they make a deal with the Romans. They said, we have something for you. We have this wonderful water and hot water because they was tired from going all around the world. And the Romans was like, okay, and they said to them, you can go in this water, but please leave us alone and don't make us trouble.
Okay.
So that was a kind of deal between
Peace
Venice people and the Romans.
Offering to, yeah. And it worked.
And it worked.
So we have, we have sodium in the water.
We get sodium and yes, there's
iodine, bromine.
We get a lot of minerals.
Many
that help also for the blood circulation.
Yeah.
For the pele, how you said?
For the skin.
For the skin.
Dermis.
Skin.
Dermis.
And a lot of benefits also for your how we said when you per dormire bene. Sleeping
and
well
rest,
and rest.
Of course.
It's very important for your body to have this kind of water almost 1 week in the year.
And the water is grounded. La connessione a terra.
Yeah.
Nell'acqua.
Well,
the water conducts very well.
Because that's a very important question. Yes, I think yes, and I think not only I think, but it's a kind of scientifically explained it because the waters come from 1,000 meters directly inside. So if we can say that, I don't know if it's correct, but I'm gonna. So you are in this contact with this water from 1,000. So you are going 1,000 meters under the ground and
very
directly.
Purity of the earth.
And I think this is the meraviglia, la meraviglia di quest'acqua.
Yes, exactly. Wow, very interesting.
Thank you, Mr.
so
Roland. You are welcome anytime.
lot of swimming this year. I'm finding the water's really helpful this year. I don't know why they didn't speak to me last year, and I wasn't in good enough condition to really enjoy them.
You were in pain, though, most
Oh,
of the time,
it
yeah?
was terrible. So this year I'm enjoying them so much more. I'm starting to feel and be stimulated so much more by the water and the flow of water. And there must be something so fundamental to life, the way it speaks to me and helps and rehabilitates. And I've used it as a wonderful opportunity to do more mirror imaging with my movements to think of breaststroke. You'll see a little clip on that later on. And to tell the whole story, I go back to my childhood around the age of 4 or 5 when I was in Portugal, because that's where I learned how to swim. There was lots of exposure to the sea, which my wife will tell you is not very warm, but a 5-year-old doesn't really care about that and just absolutely loves the water. And here I am with my sister, always exposed to water in some way and the coastline, and just came to love the sea. This is a swimming pool where I learned how to swim, with armbands, of course, and this was typical of the coastline. Here I am with my grandfather, called Ronald. My name is Roland, and hence it came to me to put 2 and 2 together and create Roland versus Ronald. Well, this is probably after my first week. I was actually swimming in a way, although at a funny angle and at a tortoise pace, very, very, very slowly. But somehow I was kept busy and quite exhausted and quite thrilled to be moving. But 1 year later, wow, this actually looks a lot smoother. And it was. I had a certain pace to my swimming. Here we go back to the torturous, almost still, I was barely able to perceive any movement there, but I did make progress. And after a year, it was a joy to really be moving along. This is a wonderful therapy for mirror movement. It's the perfect therapy in which to do mirror movement, where the 2 halves of the body mimic each other, mirror each other. So Ronald is literally mirroring Roland, and surely enough, it's not perfect. It's not completely, the symmetry is not perfect, you can see, but it's so instinctive and strong and clear to do a mirror movement that it works extremely well. So, well, this is about treading water, and I found out I could not tread water even in 2025, this year. And, of course, I remember armbands and what that was all about. Taking armbands off was hilarious while you're trying to make progress and not drown at the same time. This I found a useful exercise, and enjoying the various currents in the water. That was absolutely great. Now, I said on the last day I would do a length, but I did manage to do 3 lengths of this particular pool. And the rest of the time was great fun with friends. We met up with friends. We made new friends. It's always a joyous moment to be at a swimming pool in company and fantastic meals. And yeah, then it was time to come back. And I want to leave with a little story about Richter, who did a famous experiment on rats. He had rats swimming for 45 minutes, then they'd drown. But after a while, he decided to save them after these 45 minutes, save them and expose them again to water. This time the rats swam for 60 hours because they had hope. They remembered being saved. And so that really gave them a new lease of life and a real determination and resilience. That's it. Goodbye.